Yeah, I'll start. No, it's been really good. This core group of guys have been with each other since out throughout the whole past couple camps. So last like 9 months, and so we have a really good foundation. And guys like Georgie and guys that haven't been to many camps are coming in and just clicking with the group. So it's been really good. The friendlies have been good as well, just kind of getting to know everyone's play style and kind of just putting the final pieces together. But yeah, heading into the game, we know it's a good opportunity ahead of us for to play France in the opening match, just to kind of test how good we are, and it's just the first game, so we have a lot more to go after that. So it's not just one game.
Thanks, Donald. Next up, let's go to Doug McIntyre from Fox Sports.
Thanks, Christopher. Guys, thanks a lot for doing this. Really appreciate it. If both you could answer this, I'd really appreciate that too. You've both been in with the senior team in the past. How much you guys looking at these Olympics as an opportunity to sort of showcase yourself and get back in the picture, especially with the uncertainty, not knowing who the next coach of the senior team is going to be? Thanks and good luck, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, you look at these types of tournaments, the youth tournaments, they're supposed to be pipelines to the senior team. I think that's in some guys' head. If you do well in this tournament, is a future coach, future manager watching and taking notes. You could play your way into his plans in the future, but it's also focusing on the now and the tasks here, and that is to win a gold medal. Something that we dreamed of when we were kids, watching the Olympic Games on TV, and those future things will worry about themselves.
Yeah, no, exactly kind of what Georgie said. It's this tournament can be a stepping stone in many people's career, not only just with the senior team, but just in a career as a whole. But everyone here knows that the collective goal is to win a gold medal, and if we can do that and we can put a good showing together, then the sky's the limit for players here in this group. So I think that's everyone's kind of focus going into this tournament.
Thanks again.
Thank you, Doug. Next up, let's take Mike Watella from Soccer America.
There we go. Thanks so much. Patrick, can you talk about whether goalkeeping in this situation with the national team in the Olympics, are there any differences than compared to what you do in MLS, whether that's in practice or in games, or is it pretty similar?
Yeah, no, it's very similar. I think at the national team level, it's more just fine tuning what you kind of need for getting ready to prep for a game, because most of the time you don't really have that long of build up, but playing style and everything is the same. You still have to play your game and be ready to go for whenever that match is. And yeah, I think just building the connections with the back line is the biggest thing when coming to national team camps.
Great, thanks.
Thanks, Mike. Next up, let's take Sanjay Sujanth-Kumar from Backheeled, and then we'll do Brian Sharetta from American Soccer Now.
Thanks, Chris. You learn well from Michael there with my name. Questions for Georgie. Georgie, could you just talk about your relationship with Marco? Obviously, you guys have a bit of history, so tell me what were your impressions of him back then in Chicago, and what it's like to work with him again, and how you've seen his growth as a coach, but also just your impressions of him as a person. Thank you.
Marco, well, the first time I met him in person, he tried speaking to me in Serbian, so I had to tell him I don't understand Serbian. So that was the first impression. Now, when we first connected on the field, he came straight from winning the U20 World Cup with Serbia. So I was very motivated going into my professional career to work under him with his staff. He was his assistant coach at the time, and yeah, 3.5, 4 years together, I learned a lot. And also last year, having the opportunity to have him as an assistant coach in the Gold Cup. So we always find our way back to each other for the good. But yeah, we have a very good relationship, and I think he trusts me that I can do the job.
Thanks, Sanjay. Next up, let's go to Brian Sharetta, and then we'll go to Kellyanne Stitz from ABC Columbus.
Thank you very much, Chris. Patrick, this is for you because I know you've been with the team, pretty much throughout the entire duration. Could you talk a little bit about this team's growth and progression since its first camp in October, and how you've seen the team grow and mature and evolve, and then finally, in the June camp didn't end the way I think everyone wanted to with the loss to Japan, but it seems like this camp is going well. What were some of the adjustments and some of the lessons you took from that loss and things you've been working on to correct from that game starting for this pre-Olympic camp? Thanks.
No, I think, the one big thing from that July camp is, a lot of guys wanted to make this roster. So I think there was just a lot more nerves, a lot more uncertainty going into that camp, kind of trying to make their final impression. And so I think guys were just a little bit, uncomfortable. So I think, that was something that, when I came into pre-camp, it was, I think everyone was just kind of more relaxed, more calm because they knew their position within the team. So I think that was a big, adjustment from last camp to this camp. But I mean, throughout the whole camp or last couple of camps, it's really just been, trying to find the best system for us with our identity and the guys that we have on this team. And I think that was, a big adjustment we've made throughout since last October. So, going into this tournament, I think we've really kind of solidified, how we're going to play, how we're going to press, how we're going to defend, how we're going to build out of the back. So I think, those things kind of just have really started to click, and bringing in guys like DJORDJE, Miles, and Walker, and integrated them into the team as well has really been helpful.
Thanks, Brian. Next up, let's take Kellyanne Stitz from ABC Columbus, and then we'll go to John Lupo from Vavel.
Thank you so much. Hey, Patrick, nice to see you again. I know you've had a lot going on, but did you get a chance to see the video that the crew put out of your teammates trying to help you with your French?
I have not, but I will take a look at it after this.
Now, did they give you any advice, some of your teammates, before heading to France?
Yeah, they kind of just told me about, Marseille as a city, what to expect against France, with the crowd as well, and kind of how they feed off each other. So they've given me some inside tips that, I've definitely translated to the staff and some of the guys. So yeah, they've been helpful.
And really quick, were there any parting words that any of the guys or even Wilfred said to you before you left that stuck with you?
Yeah, I think, they all kind of just told me to go be me, go play my game. But Stevie's been a big advocate, and kind of just pushing me forward and keeping the same mentality that I have within Columbus when I come here, and just kind of try and be a leader and try and just go show yourself and don't hold anything back. So yeah, Steven, and he's been a good leader behind me, trying to drag me along the way. But everyone on the team kind of gave me good luck wishes and good messages leaving.
Thank you so much, Patrick, and good luck.
Thanks, Kellyanne. Next up, let's take John Lupo from Vavel. If anyone else has a question, go ahead to that bottom bar and raise your hand.
Guys, this one's for Georgie. You're one of the 3 overage players on the team, along with Walker and Miles. Do you feel like that experience will be very beneficial to the rest of the group? Just teaching them, just being in situations like this, having that experience, knowing what the pressure is like. Do you feel like that'll be sort of an advantage that you can give to the rest of the team?
It's strange being told I'm overaged, but yeah, I think when you look at experience, you look at what a player's gone through in their career. Only 4 years ago, my age group failed, and I've said this quite a bit. You rarely get a second chance at a dream, and I'm very lucky to have that second chance here. And I've had a few international competitions, a few Gold Cups, in tournament situations that I think I can share to the guys if they want to know more about. But it doesn't matter how old you are on this team. Even the young guys that have so much experience playing at a top level already.
Also, this is for both of you. What do you know about France? What do you think will be some of the keys against France? And also playing the match 2 days before the opening ceremony, do you feel like just getting that in and then being able to experience the opening ceremonies, taking a break, getting settled into your surroundings. Do you think that also might help? And thanks, guys, and good luck.
Yeah, we know France is probably one of the favorites playing in as a host country, host nation, and for us to go up against them in the opening game it's an honor. It's an honor because we know the world is going to be watching. We know it's an opportunity for us to show, you know, Americans as well as the rest of the world how good of a team we are. Yeah, and I didn't get part of your second question. Did you talk about the opening ceremony?
Did you want me to repeat that?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, what I was saying is that the match is on Wednesday and it's 2 days before the opening ceremony. Just being able to, you know, like you said, France is one of the favorites, play them, hopefully get a victory, sort of be able to come out of that match and enjoy the opening ceremony and then get settled into your surroundings in the athletes village and then prepare for the next match. Do you feel like it's almost an advantage to play before the opening ceremony with all of that pomp and circumstance and all the excitement, and you get to experience it having already played, and then you get to rest and just come back and play the other two matches?
We're not attending the opening ceremony. We're not staying in the village. We're staying in Marseille. I think it is what it is in terms of going to the opening ceremony. But the job at hand is game by game, going against France, doing the best we can, getting a result, moving on to the next game.
Yeah, I think to feed off that, we also know that, you know, with it kind of being one of the first events going off for the Olympics, you know, we kind of have an opportunity to just kind of make a statement and just kind of go out there and show you know, who we are and what we're about. Like this isn't, you know, no matter what happens in this game, we still have 2 more games to go, so we can play this one, you know, kind of free-minded and not have to worry about anything. And I think that can, you know, kind of play into something that, you know, this group could, you know, take advantage of. So I think, you know, that's kind of our mindset is let's just go out there and you know, play our game and see what happens, you know, with no pressure or no outside noise of everything else going on.
Cool. Thanks, guys. We'll take our last few questions here. Next up, let's go to Joe Pantorno from New York AM.
Hey guys, appreciate the time. This is for either of you, but you had just kind of talked about the mindset of going into this first game against obviously a country with some pretty notable name recognition on the world soccer stage. And yeah, again, not having so much pressure on your shoulders in the opening match, but does the mindset at all change going into a tournament, understanding that basically every game is of that must-win variety? Thanks.
Yeah, I think you know, obviously you want to win every game. So, you know, I think the biggest thing is kind of trying to strategically play the game. You know, let's say we go down 1-0. It's, you know, at that point it's, you know, it might not be letting them get 4 or 5 goals because that can come into play later on in the tournament. But at the end of the day, you know, you're out there to win every game. We want to have 9 points by the end of the group and you know, win our group and go from there. But I think, you know, definitely, you know, knowing that there's 2 more games to go in group play and the top 2 advance, it definitely comes a strategic at a point. But, you know, at the end of the day, we want to win.
Thanks, Joe. Last 2 questions here. Let's go to Doug McIntyre from Fox Sports and then Sanjay from Backfield.
Thanks, Christopher, for giving me another one here. This is for either you or both you or you know, whoever wants to take it. But obviously the first responsibility is to represent the country in the best way possible. But, you know, most of this squad is based in MLS for a bunch of different reasons. It's the week of the All-Star game back home. I mean, do you feel a secondary you know, responsibility or incentive to represent the league well and you know, show that there are good players in MLS in addition to, you know, just wearing the USA crest there?
Yeah, I mean, our duty right now is to represent ourselves, our team, our families, and of course, the United States of America the best we can. I think when you start talking about all these other things, it can get a little out of hand. Yeah, we come from MLS, but MLS is a top league. I think we have to respect it for what it is. There's so many top players playing in MLS who, some will be in the Olympics, some were in the World Cup. I think, yeah, we have to say it how it is right now.
Yeah, I think to go off that, I think we're not really only just representing MLS, but just America as a whole. I think we have a lot of guys over in Europe as well that, I think the world can respect at a higher level. So I think that's just kind of our goal is, just to change how people view Americans in soccer.
Awesome. Last question now, Sanjay from Backfield. Go ahead.
Thanks, Chris, for another one. And yeah, Georgie, just going back to that question about Marco, could you describe any difference you see in having him as an assistant with Chicago versus how he is now and how he's kind of put his stamp on this group? And then for both of you, obviously a lot of people in the US are going to get to learn who he is over the next few weeks, right? So how would you describe him as a person? Some of the guys have said he has a lot of jokes, but he's also very demanding on the pitch. So yeah, what he's like as a person. And Georgie, if you could kind of compare him versus a few years ago with Chicago. Thanks.
There's not much difference in terms of his personality, in terms of how he acts between head coach and assistant coach. I think I've always, looked at him as the same, whether he's assistant coach, head coach. I've always listened to him the same way. He obviously knows what he's doing when he was assistant coach and winning the U20 World Cup, so he knows what he's doing, and you're gonna listen to him. And yeah, my father is Serbian, so I know how demanding that could be. That mindset from Serbians, they expect the best out of you when they know you can do better. They'll tell you, and that's it.
Yeah, I think he hit the nail on the head. Guys earlier did, he's a guy you can talk to. He's a guy that you can, joke with, outside the training field or right after practice. But when the whistle blows and you're in that 90-minute window or however long training is, it's business. And he's going to demand the best out of you. And yeah, but once it's done, he's going to talk to you like a friend, and he's going to coach you up at the same time. But it's with love, so it's always good.